Okay, let's take a look at problem number 17. This is off of practice exam number 3. This one's got a little trick to it. Here's the deal. Okay, with logarithms, we know that when we have something divided by something, that becomes subtraction, right? So log base 19 of the 10th root of 7 minus log 19 of y squared x, right? So it's numerator over denominator. That becomes subtraction. Remember that those rules? Remember that dividing within one log becomes subtraction between two. Okay, now from here, this is log base 19. This 10th root of 7, that's 7 to the 1/10 power. Remember that numbers in the root, like that 10 here, that 10, if I can make it a little nicer, that 10 that's in the root, that's a 1/10 power, and then that 1/10 power comes to the front. Okay, now the other one, this is y squared times x. This is multiplication. Now what does multiplication become? Adding. But remember, this is all behind a subtraction. Here's the trick. Here's the real trick. You have to write this as log base 19 y squared plus log base 19x. Now, why did I bring in those parentheses all of a sudden? There weren't parentheses there before, because that's the only way to be consistent with the truth. What truth? We're supposed to subtract this entire log. This entire log becomes these two logs, right? Because multiplying within one log becomes adding between two logs. But I'm subtracting that entire log, so I've got to subtract both of these, the whole thing. If I don't put parentheses, then I'm not really subtracting the whole thing. I'm only subtracting the front part and adding the back part. I'm supposed to subtract the whole thing because the whole thing was this log, which is now two logs. And then you know what happens from there. That minus sign distributes, doesn't it? And this 2 is going to come to the front. So minus 2 log 19y minus, it actually ends up minus log 19x, because that minus sign distributes. So there's the actual answer, which is C. So here's the trick. If you want to save time from all those steps in the future to make it easier, here's the deal. Anything in the denominator is going to end up negative in front of it, because it's really in the denominator. It's divided, really. So it's going to end up subtracted when we break up the logs. And anything in the numerator is going to end up with plus in front of it, because it's really in the numerator. That's the shortcut if you want to just jump right to it. Don't have to do all the parentheses and distributing the negative. It's always going to end up that way. Every denominator item, even though they're times down here, they're both denominators, so they're both really divided. It's going to end up subtracted, as we can see from the truth of this negative sign distributing. So there we go.